Guys, Taylem here, and today we are going to be taking a look at interior lighting mods. Yes, I'm trying to decide which mods I want to use for my Let's Play, and I have tabulated a list. So we are going to go through the different pros and cons of these mods, their compatibility, and even if some of them can work with each other. So join me as we take a look at the brightness and the darkness of Skyrim interiors for Special Edition. Oh yeah, and I'm being chased by a wolf. Alright guys, the mods that we're going to look at today is the enhanced lighting for EMB, or L for short. We're going to be looking at enhanced lights and effects, realistic lighting overhaul, and relighting Skyrim. Now certain elements of these mods are compatible with each other, and we will be mixing and matching as compatibility allows. But for the first run through, we are just going to look at each of these mods individually. So the first thing we're going to do is I have saves set up all over the map. We are going to jump into vanilla Skyrim. We're going to take a look at each of these locations in its vanilla Special Edition state, and then we're going to jump back out. We're going to do L first, then we're going to jump into real lights and effects. Then we're going to take a look at realistic lighting overhaul, and then we're going to take a look at relighting Skyrim. And then once that is done, we are going to start combining things. Now, realistic lighting overhaul is compatible with nothing else. It is its own self-contained mod. So that one we're only going to be doing once because there is no need to bother trying to even pretend that it's compatible with anything. Now the EMB or L is actually compatible with relighting Skyrim and enhanced lights and effects. I just can't use the enhancer module for ELFX. So we're going to be using those combos, but we'll do that after we run through each of these mods individually. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you guys every single lighting mod together on the same scene, so you guys can compare them for yourself. And then afterward, we're going to go through the important combinations that I feel you guys need to see me actually running my character through, so you guys can see the different lighting and the shadows, all the nooks and crannies, and all that other kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and get this quasi-Taylem version of a showcase over with, so we can jump into the meat and gravy of these lighting mods. Hey guys, now that that comparison video is done, I am here in Dragonreach on vanilla lighting. That's because there's a few things I want to discuss with you about these lighting mods, and Dragonreach is actually a good location to display everything that these lighting mods do. If we look around here at Dragonreach, we can tell that there is huge amounts of ambient lighting just everywhere. It's as if the air itself lets off just a subtle enough light for you to see. No matter where you go, everything is nicely lit and visible, and hey, Let's face it, a lot of people like it this way. Not everybody is an immersion junkie like myself, but it is a little bit, well, it's disjointed for me at least. And another thing I want to point out is if you look at this window here, you see how it's bright and it's illuminated, but if you go to some of these other windows, like this one here, there is no light. These side windows, there is also no light. And this is one of the biggest factors of these lighting mods, because some of them add lights from natural locations or logical locations, and others actually don't. So we're going to take a gander around here. Alright, let's spin on to another mod and check them out. Okay, here we are in Dragon's Reach with enhanced lights and effects and its enhancer mod. And if we go over here, you see that the windows actually now have light. There is light coming in from the one up here. And if we skedaddle over to this side, excuse me, coming through. As you can see, there is light just beaming in from everywhere that there should be. Yet in the corners where it's dark, the ambience definitely shows a more shaded and shadowed presentation, which is very immersive for me. In fact, the glow from the candles and whatnot almost gives the area kind of a smokiness to it. Something that you would actually expect from an area lit almost completely by candlelight. If you go up here where there's more natural light and less candles, it's actually less smoky, which makes sense. So you get over here, then you're like, we can go over here. A lot more smoke going on in the center here. Now I want to point out that these light sources from the windows are part of the Enhanced Lights and Effect main mod. It is not, repeat, it is not an addition of the Enhancer mod. The Enhancer mod is just to adjust the image spaces within interior locations. It does not mess with the light sources, candle flame, smoke, etc. So if you choose not to use the enhancer, you won't lose the cool light sources and that kind of thing. Now, L does not mess with light sources. It handles pretty much image spaces, etc. That's why it's compatible with the enhanced lights and effects without the enhancer mod. So if you like the way L does interior lighting versus the enhancer, you can couple that with enhanced lights and effects for a slightly different interior, and I'll be showing you that combination in just a bit. Or you could go with the Relighting Skyrim mod, which also adjusts light sources, but it doesn't do a lot of the other things enhanced lights and effect does. It doesn't add a lot of tonal changes. The candles don't have smoke and things to that effect, but it is a slightly brighter mod. I find that if enhanced lights and effects is a little too dark for your tastes, I would suggest going with Relighting Skyrim coupled with L. It's actually very, very nice looking, and we'll take a look at that combination too, even though it's only probably my third favorite compared to all the other combinations, with enhanced lights and effects coupled with L being first, and the one you're seeing here with the enhancer being second. It's actually really nice. I really like this. I mean, the color is pretty accurate to what a fire would, you know, emit. I found that realistic lights in Overhaul, the fire is a little too yellow. If anybody has actually seen a roaring fire in real life, it definitely isn't pure yellow at all. It's because fire is not blue hot. It's not white hot. It's barely yellow hot. Traditional fire is pretty much in that orange-yellow spectrum. At least when it's burning natural sources, unless you start dealing with highly flammable chemicals, then it can burn even hotter. But that's not in Skyrim, unless somebody's got dragonfire around here. In that case, I guess it burns green, doesn't it? Alright, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the Relighting Skyrim mod coupled with L. Alright guys, here we are inside Dragon's Reach with the L mod and Relighting Skyrim. And as you can see, it's definitely much brighter. I would say this is a good combination for those that have a hard time seeing in the dark and want to see the detail of every single nook and cranny of the place that they are in. So if that's something that you really just have to have, and you found the ELFX setup too dark, I would say go for this setup. Go for the Relighting Skyrim coupled with L. Now, with that being said, later on, I'm going to kind of get into checking the ESPs, because when you finally have all your load order and you have your water mods and you have, you know, your patches, you're going to want to check your lighting mods, especially in something like Xedit, because it makes changes to a lot of the image spaces and whatnot of areas. And sometimes you have patches that will override that, and you won't get your consistent effect everywhere. And that may sound intimidating, but honestly, guys, once you kind of get the basics, you can actually make simple patches yourself. As long as you don't modify the original files, it's very easy to undo any mistakes that you may make when you're learning to make your own patches. That's one of the awesome things about something like Xedit, is that if you're careful, it's a very useful tool, absolutely. But back on this mod right here, let's go over it here. You see the windows? They do not have any light sources. Pretty much this setup relies on the light sources from existing lamps and candles. You see there's no smoke either, but it does not add lighting from windows. So there is still a generous amount of ambient lighting in the area. But it does look much better than vanilla. Absolutely much better than vanilla. And it's very worth the 2 ESP slots to run this setup. That's why it's actually one of my favorites as far as being clean and, you know, being as immersive as it allows without getting so much that people just can't see. I almost hurt myself. But one more thing to look at this mod. Let's actually go to a darker area. Let's jump into Bleak Falls Temple here. And let's take a look at the ambiance of the dungeon. Ooh. As you can see here, it's very dark. But if you look up, you can see the sky pretty clearly. That's one thing that's a little bit unrealistic. Because if anybody's ever been in a really dark room, say like you're in a really dark room and has a tiny little window up at the top, where there's just beaming bright light coming in, just like this here. Now, if you were to stare at it, you would not be able to see out that window in sky. It would be so bright because your eyes are adjusted to the darkness that it would just seem like a big white blob of light. So it's a little unrealistic for me. Maybe I'm just nitpicky, but it still looks nice. It's dark. We got bad guys here. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Bye-bye. I killed him. But the fog, even if some of us remove the interior fog, I haven't done that yet. I'm still, point of this video is to choose a lighting mod. I got a step process. That's actually something that I will do on my stream tonight. So if you want to see me add mods to remove interior and do some patchwork and whatnot, please join me. Yep, and with that being said, I think this looks pretty nice. It's dark, but you still have the brightness of the populated areas, so you don't stumble around in the blackness. Let's take a look at the Riverwood Trader real quick, and let's see its lighting scheme, because it's a unique place, because there's no windows, and your light just comes from the fireplace and these candles. As you can see, it's actually pretty shaded. I don't know how any store would be able to function like this. Dude, I can't see your product. Look, I can still cheese. I could walk out right now with cheese. I mean, yeah, the game code wouldn't let me, but it's so dark. Let's see if I can still... Ooh, I'm hidden. Hidden already. Oh, no, I'm seen. I'm hidden. Steal. Ooh, I stole cheese. I'm stealing lots of cheese. Whoop. Hey, how you doing?
Riverwood Trader is everything you need.
You didn't see me steal your cheese. Neener, neener, neener. Alright guys, let's hop out and we're going to try out Enhanced Lights and Effects with L, which is my personal favorite. Alright guys, here we are inside Dragon's Reach with my favorite setup of ELFX and L. And as you can see, it's a bit brighter than with the enhancer, but it still looks like it's natural light. You see the kind of orangey hue on the walls here? There is none of that, you know, bright sunlight that fills up this lower room. Up top, yes, because of the one window up there, but down here, most of the light would be light from the fires, and it definitely shows that. But if you look at the transition here, you see it's all orange, 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 and it fades and fades, and you start getting more and more natural light. That's because you have these windows.
I might just be a
And they
servant
all
of my
show
lord.
lights. And if we go in here, we have a very natural lit area that doesn't seem so smoky because most of the light is from the windows. We go into here, we have light from this window, and it seems natural. It doesn't seem like you are just filled with ambient light from no source, because right here by the window feels brighter than over here in the corner by the books. And if we go across the way here, excuse me, jumping through into the kitchen, it is the same thing. Now, if you look in the corner there where the candles are, you do have a little bit of hue from the candles, whereas the corner over here does not. And the shadows are definitely reflecting from the exterior lights here. It's just amazing. This combination is absolutely my favorite in every sense of the word. I haven't found anything remotely even close. We go into here. It looks great. I mean, in here should honestly be a little bit darker. But what can you do? I can't complain completely. I would imagine this room should actually be almost pitch black. Especially with the door closed, because there is like no light that should be emitting in this room. But you can't have everything. It's kind of a give and take. Now, one of the interesting things is that if you're using Vivid Weathers like I am, it actually comes with a built-in configuration tool for interiors. Just in case you say, you know, I like this, but I wish it was just a wee bit darker or a wee bit brighter. So let's go ahead and put it to clear and see what happens. Now go ahead and watch the screen. See, it brightens just a tick. Just for people that have a really hard time adjusting on any kind of darkness, yet want the ambiance still that this mod produces. Or say you just want the opposite. You like it, but you know you want it a wee bit darker. Let's go ahead and go back into here, and let's put it on dark. I found Doom just to be kind of like way too dark. And boom. See, it kind of drops the ambient light down even further. I prefer to leave it at the default and just let my mods handle the light, because as you can see, the light coming from the windows has been
If my
diminished
training
quite a
gets
bit.
in your way, just say the word and I'll be off.
And we'll go back into here. As you can still see it a little bit, but it definitely isn't as vibrant as it is without Vivid Weathers interfering. So let's go ahead and put this back on normal.
Servants,
There we go.
remember that I like my meat rare.
I definitely like it like this. This looks beautiful to me. Now, some of the really impressive things I have yet to show you. Let's jump into Bleak Falls Temple. Dee-dee-dee. All right, now tell me that does not look amazing. Tell me that does not look awesome. You got the almost bluish purple hue coming in from outside, the mixing of the dirt and the dust with the exterior lights. Now, if you look up, you have that bright, blinding glow, because your eyes technically would not be able to focus beyond the darkness. And if anybody doubts that this is true, I would say go try it. Go in someplace really dark with a little teeny tiny window, letting in just enough light in the middle of the day to be bright, and you will see what I mean. Now, you might be able to see out of it if you get really close and give your eyes time to readjust. But from down here looking up, it would be much like this. It actually looks fantastic. Now I'm going to go ahead and kill all here. Sorry. I'm butchering you for testing purposes. We go over here, we have just the fireplace really illuminating the area around it. Without the fireplace, it gets dark. Look at this. Fortunately, we have a lot of light sources up here. but not that many. Some corners start to get particularly unpleasant, especially for those who are nervous around the dark. It is amazing. I get excited. All right, let's jump into the Riverwood Trader. This is a very particular location because of the lack of any window. Why is there no windows in your store? All right, but I found the lighting actually better. I can actually see the shelves. Oh, can I stand next to here and be sneaky? Oh, I still can. Apparently they're just blind.
Still open. Feel free to shop.
I'm gonna lockpick you. Lockpick. I mean pickpocket. Yes, I'm gonna go behind you and lockpick you. That's disturbing. Okay, forget I said that. But as you can see, the store is actually much better lit. It's still a little darker than I would like. I really wish there was like a window right here. You think when they built the place, they would build windows. I mean, I get you want to be secure and all. But good lord, how do those people break in? They said they stole the claw. How do they get in? Definitely not through these little tiny windows up here. As you can see, these farmhouse windows actually have no illumination. I don't know if that's just something mods decided not to address or couldn't address. Oh, he's following me around. Sneaky, sneaky.
Maybe you could talk some sense into my pink.
Oh, I don't know. The default model of her is not pretty. I have no idea why those two guys are fighting over her. Ugh. Anyhow, while we're at it, I want to go check something else. I didn't do this with any of the other mods, but with this one, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Inver Shard here, and I'm going to see with it's the default detection for sneaking. So I don't think it'll actually be that stellar. Coming through. Coming through. Pushing it through the way. Let's turn this off. Oh, I said off. Come on. There it goes. Turn this off. See how close I can get before they see me. See a hunting bow. What do we got here? Got my bow and arrows.
Don't forget the rock trap.
Yes, this is from Creation Club because it was free one day, and if it's free, I take it. I'd be foolish to grab anything that's not free. Make my thud sound. Ooh, I gotcha. Oh no, he's on me. And it's dark. Oh, I'm out of arrows. What's up with that?
Tell you what, you start running so I can.
How about you go through the trap and die like a fool? Oh crap, he ran past it. No. Here. Well, what else show you? My lightning arrow. Alright. I know you only get like 5 by default. Oh, no, did he die? That's so funny. He ran through the already collapsed trap and died. Oh, Bethesda. Tripping over boulders. But as you can see, guys, the lighting scheme for this particular setup is fantastic. I really, really, really freaking love it. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate you joining my community. I want people to get into modding with me. I want to stream modding more. I really want to get interactive with it. And I want to teach you guys everything that I know. Alright guys, this is Taylem. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next modding video.